Hey, it's Jim Friedenmaker, and I'm going to show you what I do each day to update the files to have the proper things showing while my friend Daniel and I play Uno. So I have 5 text files open. I edit each day, but I'll show you this. So this is when we played it yesterday, so we're going to update it for today. And here's just a scrolling version. I'll show you exactly where those go into OBS or Open Broadcast Studio in a moment. But first thing I do is I change the date so I don't accidentally overwrite yesterday's file, so we always know what our results are. So I'm going to change that to the 8th. Obviously I'm not changing anything right now, I'm just changing the date to make sure I don't overwrite yesterday's results. And then I have a Daniel win count that I don't change it till the very end in case I accidentally make a mistake. Oh yeah, I need to refer back to it. And my win count for yesterday. So then I'm going to show you briefly, just go scroll through real quick. So what I then do is I set this to the following date. So this is 8 o'clock today. I change that. Tonight I will change that to the 9th when we play on Sunday night. I would just change that to the 9th. How long does it take until we're ending, till we're done? And again, I'm just going to do a quick scroll through just to show you what that looks like, just some calculations, and then this is what I output to OBS. So as we're playing, if it's after 8 o'clock, we're in overtime. Otherwise, it outputs how many days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So example, I don't play on Monday nights or Wednesday nights. So on Tuesday night after we play, then we would next play on Thursday as an example. So it might output 1 day, 23 hours, X number of minutes, X number of seconds. So it's all set. When I load it up on Thursday night, it's all set because I set the date up here, in this case, to that Thursday. When does it expire? Okay, so I only change that once a day. So I'm going to switch back to here. Now I'm going to bring over OBS from my second screen just to give you some context. So right now I don't have Uno. My Uno switch is off, so it doesn't, it just shows you the color bars. But here's the output that it does. Saturday, June 8th, 2024 at 5:46. Just switched over to 5:47. You see that it switches to my clock. It uses JavaScript, so it uses my clock. And right now, until 8 o'clock, so we start playing around 7. So 2 hours, 12 minutes, 46 seconds remaining. So now I'll show you how that fits here in a minute. I'm going to drag that back though as we change the data files. Actually, I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to drag it back and show you where these data files live. So I'm going to go down to, as an example, the individual win boxes. We'll edit those in a second, but here's where we play. When he does the invite, Daniel needs to be over here on the right. I'll show you here on the left. And then when he and I are playing team, my position on Nintendo Switch always stays in this area. But if we're playing opposite one another as a team, then he's in the center. But normally, when he does the invite, it's going to start off, he's going to be to my right. So that's where I want that to line up. Okay, now, I'm going to show you the scroll banner. And you'll see that it still says Friday. But what we do each day is we change the data file. So I'm just going to do that now. And rather than edit what I have now, I'll show you how it will instantly update as soon as I save it. So rather than correct it, I have a file dated the 8th, but it still has Friday, June 7th information in it. So I'll show you how that works. So I'm just going to double click on the bottom Uno here. I'm going to change the 7th to the 8th. this is the scrolling. And then I'm going to click OK. And of course, we haven't changed the actual contents of the file yet, so you'll still show it there. But I'm going to go ahead and change it in these other areas too. When I first started out with the scroll, depending on what game we were playing, the scroll might have covered up certain areas. So I have other things, and I just maintain it out of habit, just to make sure they're all consistent. But in practice, I've got it where the scroll is at the bottom. I've just reduced the games ever so slightly, just to do that. So again, we're not changing the actual contents yet, and I'm not even going to turn on the top or the up a bit. So here's the up a bit position. Do the same thing, browse, do the scrolling. Okay. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. But then I'm going to go up to a thing called Congrats and Wins Tally. Okay. And here's where the non-scrolling version of that file is. So I'm just going to double click here. Change that to the 8th, the non-scrolling one. And then what I'll do is I'm going to bring that up over here. So now I want to show you, I'm going to have you watch in the background as I change the actual file. So I'm just going to hit here. So we have it on the 8th. We've already set the file to the 8th. Now watch what happens. So I'm just going to type Saturday. June 8th, and I just clear all the stats. Now be watching on the left hand side. I'm going to hit Control S on my keyboard, and as soon as that saves, it'll instantly update because it's pointing to the right file now. Just has yesterday's information in it as of the 2nd. Control S on my keyboard to save. You see that it changed. As soon as it saved it to my hard drive, it updates the file. So as we're playing, let's say Daniel wins the first game. We'll change that to a 1. We'll change it to a 717. Switch it back to Congrats and Win Tally. And this is what that would look like in practice. Okay. So I'll go ahead and switch it back. Alright, so we're set for tonight. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the scroll. So I'm just going to go over to the, I'm going to show you, even though we don't have the gameplay up, what this looks like in practice. Normally the Nintendo would be right here. So I'm just going to show you that same thing, just be watching it in the scroll. So, got the date correct. We've already put it in there, so it's looking for today's file. And we are just changing the stats to zero them out. Now we haven't saved our work yet, so you'll still see that it shows Friday, June 7th there, but in a moment that will not. I'm going to hit Control S real quick. And at the very last second it switched, but I'm just going to have you watch and show that it shows zeros now. And then you'll see Win Tally Saturday, June 8th scrolling by right here. Okay, so we're all set there. Now, I'm going to show you, go ahead and bring up Nintendo. and I'll show one last thing, and then we're done. So okay, so I'm going to get into Nintendo Uno, even though I'm not going to play. Okay, just to stop the game audio. So as you saw, the AI player that I was playing temporarily, just to show you an illustration, would be where Daniel's position would be when he does the invite. So I always have him start us off, so I know where that needs to be positioned, and then we just continue to see the scroll, and as we win, we play. So now I'm going to show you on the wins. I'm going to update that. So all I do is just do a 0, and then I'm going to hit Control S on my keyboard to save it. You see it instantly updates, just like the other data files. And that's all there is to it. Updating 5 files a day. I just use these the next day so I can record other things about the gameplay. So as I record, it will have everything we need to. And then this is, as a reminder, what I do to change it. So tomorrow it will be set to 6/9 because we play Sunday night, and then this countdown will count down to 8 o'clock on whatever day I tell it to. So I'll update that after tonight's gameplay. So I'm going to get the text files out of the way. We're done showing that. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and set up the YouTube stream now. So, even though I don't want to start it. So the first thing is, I'm not live streaming right now, but I don't stream to my business channel for the Nintendo Uno, so I need to stop my virtual camera, switch the profile over to Nintendo Stream, which streams to my personal channel, and then I'm going to click on Manage Broadcast. So we're not going to start the broadcast on this recording, but you'll actually see what it is. So I hit the remember the settings, that way it always remembers the prior day. So all I have to do is change the date. And this window's a little bit too big for you to see actually down here, but there's going to be an apply button. So you can see as I drag it up, you can see that there's some little gray things. So I fixed that just by dragging it off the second screen, but I'm recording this. So my options are cancel. Nope, don't want to do that. Create broadcast, or create broadcast and start streaming. So I'm just going to click on create broadcast. and I'll show you what that looks like. So now that that's been done over on the second screen, I'm just going to click on Manage Broadcast, and you'll see it's been scheduled. So if you went out to my personal YouTube page right now, you see waiting or upcoming or something similar to that. But here's the one more edit. And then our options. It's hard to show you all the stuff down at the very bottom, so I'm just going to drag it off again just to show you. So the options are cancel, open YouTube Studio, select broadcast, or select broadcast and start streaming. So now it's all set to do tonight. Drag it back. And that is what we do on a daily basis to be able to have some extras. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. It doesn't get away. It doesn't do away with that. It's still out there. I didn't delete it. And then all I do tonight is I will click the start streaming, and it will. So I need to start my virtual camera too, just to have it out there. But that is what is done. So I'm going to get out of there so I can get back in tonight's settings. I'm just going to switch over to Sudoku so that when I load up Uno tonight, it's where I need to be. And then to get the color bars back, I'm just putting it to sleep. And this is how we started tonight.